Welcome in, everybody. It's the coach. This is Madden 20 on EA Sports. Straight ahead, we've got what should be a good one between the Miami Dolphins and the Cleveland Browns. I'll have scores around the league for you at the half. But it's time for a little football. So we'll hand it over to our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Just off the shores of Lake Erie, we are at First Energy Stadium in a city aptly named after its founder, Moses Cleveland, way back in 1796. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Miami Dolphins and the Cleveland Browns. Hi again, everyone, with Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Godden. And, Charles, we look at this Browns ball club. They come in riding high, just one loss in their last 7 games.
It's a very focused team, very disciplined. They've kept the penalties to a minimum, and they're winning football games.
Meanwhile, for our visitors, the Dolphins, things haven't gone exactly according to plan to this point. But, boy, you and I down there with them before the game, they were fired up.
And they understand how important this game is. Win this one, they can start to think about a turnaround.
Here we go. The final week of the NFL season. Week 17 is underway. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. So here come the Browns for their first drive on offense. Under center, it's the 2017 Heisman Trophy winner as you get a look at Baker Mayfield.
And you and I both know that any win is a good win, and that's what they did last week. But there's also plenty for him to work on in his game, wasn't there?
Yeah.
2 touchdowns, an interception. Yeah, you know, he wants to increase that a little bit in terms of ratio. But first and foremost, they did win the game.
First down, Mayfield. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. A bad start there, a big loss on their first play from scrimmage. It's second down.
Well, we knew coming in it was going to be a long afternoon if they weren't able to hold up against this pass rush, huh?
What we didn't know was that protection was going to spring a leak on the first play from scrimmage.
Got after him right out of the gate.
Got to imagine the pass rush will be equally intense here on second down following the sack. It's 2nd and 18. Mayfield looks to throw. Under pressure again, and down he goes again. Rashawn Gary in there to get him, and that is now sack number 18 on the season for him. Well, someone came to play today.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. We heard about it all week, didn't we? Especially when we visited practice. He thought he had a good matchup in front of him, and he's taking full advantage right now.
After the sack, they'll come up now 3rd and long.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see them run the ball here just to try and get some space.
Here's Mayfield. That's out to Chubb, complete. Certainly not what they wanted there. No gain, and it's 4th down.
That was impressive to me because while it was a pass play, they still rallied to the football like they were filling running lanes, and they were able to put the receiver on the ground.
He was only asked to punt once in the victory last week as he sends this one away. Well, he wasn't too far from breaking that. Officially, give him 15. And the Dolphins will begin this drive in great field position, 1st and 10. First carry now. This is Alvin Kamara. Broke through some contact, but unable to reach the 40. A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3.
A nice run here early on. It doesn't take a great play caller to realize you want to establish a guy of his caliber who runs like this early because they will pay dividends as the game progresses.
Here we go.
On second down, Kamara. And this carry not as productive. He's swallowed up at the line of scrimmage. call it no gain that time as it's going to leave them with a third and about 3 to go. A good chance this is 4-down territory if they're unable to convert. But right now looking at a 3rd and 3. Now back to throw. Over the middle, complete. That's Lamb. And he's taken down inside the 30. Now after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. And this is certainly not what you want to see in the final week of the year. We'll be back.
Mike, number 53. Mike, 53.
And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's 2nd down. Time for a look at our starters here on defense. Now, they've been a very good unit against the pass, defending at 5th best in the league.
And I'm struggling a little bit trying to really categorize this crew. They're top 10 in the league against the pass, but the bottom half of the league in sacking the quarterback. That doesn't make sense. Imagine if this group ever put pressure on the QB, they'd easily move into the top 5.
Here's 2nd and 10 now from the 29. They'll run it now out of the gun. Just a couple there on the 2nd down run. Now they're staring at a 3rd and 8 situation. And for the Browns, a nickel set here on 3rd down.
Partner, we know today's NFL is really built around the guy throwing the football. But these short runs, they still pay dividends because they can take their toll on a defense and they can add up as the game goes along. You control the clock, you control the ball, and that way you often control the game. Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
In the end, the opening drive, Charles, does yield points. Maybe not the touchdown that they wanted, though.
Yeah, but bottom line, they wanted to get something out of that drive, and they did that. 3 points, they won't turn that down at all.
And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Heading out is the Cleveland offense now as they get set to take over here. And they'll certainly be trying to do better than that first drive where they went 3 and out.
And sometimes the first drive is just simply to settle nerves. You know what it's like at the start of a game with the emotion. Guys a little bit jumpy.
You do.
Oh, you understand the same way. It's just like us calling one, right? Making sure we ease into the game, let it come to us.
Well, you went 3
and now
and
they
out.
have that opportunity.
No, you didn't go 3 and out. I went 3 and out on that first drive. I'll try to do better here. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down. Let's meet the offense. Greg Robinson. Very, very talented.
What a man to set your offensive line with. Greg Robinson can do it all. Tremendous athleticism, great strength, just coming into his own.
They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line. Mayfield hands to Chubb on the draw. And they're able to get this one across the 35. That's good for a Cleveland first down, an 11-yard pickup.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember, the last drive they went 3 and out.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38.
Let's go, defense. Let's go, defense. Here we go.
From the shotgun, it's Mayfield. They'll get this to Chubb out of the backfield. And he'll be marked down deep on Miami's side of the field. A big play that time for Cleveland. 45 yards.
A lot of running backs in the passing game, they're just used to check it down to them or maybe dump off passes. But this guy, they use him to stretch the field, don't they?
He stretched it right there, turned it into a really nice game. So the big play means just like that, they'll operate from the red zone now on 1st down. Running it here with Peyton. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. What a difference a play makes. A huge step forward and now a small step back as he loses a yard or two. Plays like we just saw there, that's why they're up right now. And the defense, they're doing their job.
Yeah, it starts with the guys up front. So when you talk with GMs who are putting together a team, a lot of them say we're going to build from the inside out, because if you control the line of scrimmage, you control the rest of the ball game, and that's what we're seeing here. They're actually playing in the offense's backfield, not necessarily just playing at the line of scrimmage.
And effective running here. He'll take it down inside the 10. They get 9 yards back on the run there, and they're left with a much more makeable 3rd and 2.
Delay of game, offense.
So that'll back them up 5. Not ideal there. That delay of game backs them up 5 yards, so now they need 7 yards on 3rd down. Working out of the gun, Mayfield. And he's got this one complete to Callaway. Give him 7 on the play, and that'll bring up 4th down.
Too easy.
Well, it wasn't a big strike, but that completion put them in really great range. What do we have now, 4th and inches?
Yeah, it's not more than a half a foot.
You know what I would do here?
You would always go for it.
I'm one of those guys.
Now Jake Elliott for the field goal try. From the left hash, a chip shot here. The kick by Elliott is good. And that will tie us at 3-3. That drive took him inside the 10. Good job defensively to hold him to 3.
Yeah, I like how you did that. Give a little tip of the cap to the stop troops there, because they didn't give up a touchdown in that situation, right? Made them kick the field goal. And, yeah, points went against them, but that feels a whole lot better running off the field.
This is taken at his 4. And he'll bring it back to just about the 25. Call it the 24-yard line. So the Dolphins offense heading out as we give you a look at the playoff race in the AFC. And it's all come down to this, hasn't it? Final week of the regular season. As this year's playoffs play out anything like the regular season has gone, could be in for a wild and fun month of January.
And we can break the rules because we can look ahead. All right, there's not a coach out there that's ever said to their team, all right, let's look three weeks down the road. It's always right here, right now. Forget that. Think about what the playoffs are going to look like. The teams that we see that are already in, the teams that are trying to get in, we could have some great matchups.
Now a fake on the give here as they try the run pass option. He completes it to Evans. They follow up the gain of 2 with a gain of 1 that time. And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game. He'll look to throw. He's going to fire one deep, middle of, into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked up by the former first-round pick, Demarius Randall. CD, I know it's just his 2nd year in the league as a quarterback, but that's going to be one when he flips on the tape. He's like, I shouldn't have thrown that ball.
No doubt about it, and his coaching staff will be emphatic about he shouldn't have thrown that ball. But remember, 2nd year, as you noted, on-the-job training, so he's got to take this feedback that he's getting, negative or otherwise, and turn it into positives moving forward.
The Cleveland offense ready to go. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
And now Mayfield on the bootleg. It's caught by OBJ. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field. So a decent gain, but all for naught on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. Only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
Now a 2nd down throw for Mayfield. This is the tight end, Njoku. It'll be a gain of 9, and that'll bring up a 3rd down.
One of the advantages of zone defense, as I remember it, is being able to see the play develop in front of you. One of the disadvantages, when they find those levels where they can hit you with it. Sometimes behind the corner and in front of the safety, it makes it tough to defend. Now
on 3rd down, that pass knocked down in the backfield and incomplete. We saw a lot of that a week ago defensively from him. AFC Defensive Player of the Week. Just always seems to be around the football.
I like your observation there. Understands the game, understands positioning, can put himself in the right spot, and then make a play on the football.
Here's Jamie Gillen now as he'll punt it away for the second time. And he'll get this away into the icy winter air. And that one hits a little too close to the goal line, and it continues into the end zone for a touchback. And out come the Dolphins now. As the season winds down and you look at them in totality, you know, the offense has struggled. The defense has been pretty good, so I would imagine the changes this offseason may be more on the offensive side of the ball.
And this is where we always hear the term complementary football, because as you noted, the defense has played well enough for them to win games, and the offense has held them back. So they've got to reward that defense by improving on offense. I don't know if you make a change, a quarterback, running back, tight end, it doesn't matter. Get better players, better system, so they can play to the standards of the defense, and the win column will result.
After the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 20. And he'll take this one only up to about the 21. Only a yard on the pickup there, so it leaves them needing a conversion here on 3rd and a tough 9. He'll drop to throw. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. It's the former Dolphin All-Pro Olivier Vernon. Make that now 8 sacks for him on the season. Great job defensively. I think he was trying to go through his progressions, find someone to get rid of the football. Before he knew it, he was on his back.
So that just brings us right back to what you said in the beginning. A great job defensively. Nowhere to go with the football. That led to the sack.
On 4th down, Matt Hawk is on to punt. And this is away. It's a high kick, and he got all of it. It's taken to the 26. Call that one an even 60 yards, 6-0. And the Browns will take over, 1st and 10. And now Cleveland geared up to take the field. And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you've called before, realize it hasn't worked.
Go to someone else. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Rashawn Gary in there for the sack, and he's closing in on the all-time record. That's number 19 on the year.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
And the job becomes twice as difficult now. After the sack, it's 2nd and 20. Mayfield. He's got Njoku, his big tight end. And he's going to be brought down on what will be the final play of this first quarter. These two teams all tied after one. The Browns on 3rd down, 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. This is 3rd and 16. From the gun, got an open man. That's David Njoku, the tight end. And he gets this only to the 41. Not near enough for the first.
One hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary after catches. I think we just saw that on display right there.
Got to him before he ever had a chance to think about turning it upfield. And he gets this away, and look at this. This is a good one. Out comes the Miami offensive unit now. They get set to take over. It's been very much a slow start for them. 3 drives and just the 3 points, CD.
Yeah, if you're into the points per drive ratio, that answer is 1. And that's not going to get it done in a ball game. They've got to find a way to finish these drives in end zones, not having balls go through goalposts.
Let's go, D. Big series right here. We got to step it up.
They begin on the ground with Kamara. Fights forward for only about a yard up to the 21.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
They'll run out of the gun with Kamara. It's a gain of 6, moves them to a manageable 3rd and 2 situation.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Here's Kamara trying to run for it. And he's going to have the first down, yardage to the 35. It goes as a gain of 8, and it moves the chains.
Well, that was big right there because they're in the bottom 5 in the league in converting on 3rd down. They needed that pickup in a big way.
There were 2 things they said they wanted to win in this game. One, the turnover battle, and the second, 3rd down conversions. So they got one there. Now a man open down the middle of the field. The completion good for 3, and it's 2nd down.
Good throw, good catch, but I really like the route. The drag and being able to run away from defenders, hard to stick with them for that long.
Yeah, better against man than zone, or?
Better against man, because now you're running away from someone and you're not running into a defensive player in another zone.
Opted to run for it. The decision a good one. Picking up the first, getting 14 yards on the scramble.
Partner, he was going through his progressions. Not there, not there. After about the 3rd one, he decided he better pull it down and run for it. And he slides down and avoids the hit for good measure.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Now a fake on the give here as they try the run-pass option. And this is caught by Evans. And he'll be taken down at the 44-yard line. Call it a gain of 3, and that'll make it 2nd down.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
On 2nd down now, it's Evans. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. It'll be a loss of 1, and they're going to face a 3rd down. Back to throw. And he completes it to Westbrook. And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35. Catch number 40 for him on the year. It's a 1st down.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route, and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and give the quarterback a really nice target.
He's going to have the hook up to Ross. And all the way inside the 15 before they drop him. Now after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. And this is certainly not what you want to see in the final week of the year. We'll be back. First foray into the red zone for Miami. They have a 1st and 10 at the 13-yard line. They'll look to throw here. The quick slant caught. And he'll be taken down at the 2-yard line. 11 more yards that go around, a 1st down as well.
I think a lot of people ask the same question all the time. Why do we see so many slants in the red zone? Well, the windows are tighter. Everything's more condensed. It has to be quicker, and you've got to deliver the ball on time. Your biggest worry, ball gets tipped in the air, because if that happens, then it's fair game for the defense.
Running with Kamara, and he's going to bull his way into the end zone for the Dolphins score. Alvin Kamara, his 2nd touchdown on the season, and the Dolphins have taken the lead. Second effort there, he was determined to find pay dirt, and he did.
I think that's a great example of what coaches talk about, a back that runs behind his pads, and he uses pads to get him into the end zone.
Extra point by Seibert, up and good, and the lead is now 10-3. So that one a long 11-play drive, and the capper came from Alvin Kamara on the touchdown run. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This fielded at the 2. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. There's Baker Mayfield as he and the Browns offense comes back out. And maybe he's starting to wave the white flag a little bit. He's playing pretty well, but the pressure, it's got to it.
Has to find a way to step around it, step through it, or just handle it. Because as you mentioned, he's having a pretty good day overall. Just the hits keep coming and taking those sacks. That's not the way that they want to finish a ball game with their quarterback on the ground so much.
He'd like to stay upright. When he's been upright, he's been pretty good. Pretty solid run here on first down. Almost picked up another first, but he appears to be a few inches short.
Partner, I remember a coaching friend of mine, he said running backs before games, make sure you run and jog with your offensive line. In pregame, get used to the ground shaking with those big behemoths.
Now Mayfield lost the football, and this is picked up by the Dolphins. And they are going to take over right there at the 22-yard line.
Thank goodness for heaters up here. And thank goodness I don't have to carry the football in this game. It's January. It's cold out there. Trying to clutch the football and absorb the hits, not easily done.
Yeah, we saw a product of the elements right there. Out comes the Miami offensive unit now. They get set to take over. It's a quick turnaround for them after the turnover, but the way they moved it on their last drive, they're probably eager to get right back at it.
And you know me and you know my tendencies in this situation. What do I want right now?
Be aggressive.
Be aggressive. Take your shot right here.
They'll come out throwing here on first down. That's to his running back. It's Alvin Kamara. And he's going to lose yards. They take him down at the 26. And never good on a pass completion there to go the wrong way. Lost yardage.
No, for some reason it seems to work better when you throw it downfield or you move the ball downfield running it that way, doesn't it? But in this case, if you're the defensive guys, you're energized, executed well, and you caused a lost yardage play. That's going to feel good and look great in film. And that's one of the reasons you like to blitz even on rundowns. It confuses the blocking assignments. It doesn't.
Nowhere to turn this time, and he goes down. Sack back of the 29. Myles Garrett in there to get him, and on the season now, that is 9 sacks for him.
Well, how about that? A dime set on defense, 6 defensive backs. None of them blitz. They're just back there in coverage. Defensive lineman gets the sack.
That's where the O-line, they go to the sideline, they keep their helmets on so the cameras can't find them, right?
Yeah, the cameras can't find them, but I know one thing. The O-line coach will.
And his kick is absolutely perfect. And they will stretch their lead to 10 now at 13-3. So not sure how they feel about that. They had golden field position to start the drive after the fumble recovery, but they went backward and then got 3.
Well, let's go from gold to silver, because the silver lining is they got the 3, right? You were talking about the golden field position. They didn't take advantage of it. That has to feel like a letdown.
You always stand ready to pounce. Always.
Let's go! Let's go! Let's go!
Odell Beckham now marching back onto the field. A chance maybe here for them to get him more involved. They're down here on the scoreboard, and he's been very quiet.
And the silence has been deafening for his team. They don't need that at all. They need fireworks. They need explosive plays. They need him touching the football in any way possible. Maybe go to some jet sweeps. Anything to get him going.
Yeah, something to get him the ball. We'll see if they can do it. They start on the ground with Nick Chubb. And he went backwards. He'll be down at the 30. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down.
That's a really alert defense there because they saw the heavy look come in from the offense, countered it with extra linebackers who brought a little bit of speed and heft, and able to really make a big-time play for their defense.
And now a throw here secured by his running back out of the backfield.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
Now a third down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, and as it turned out, couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It was way too tight. Unable to find anyone open.
Here's Jamie Gillen now. He's been one of their few bright spots so far. He steps into this one, and this is a rocket. And that is much too long. That's into the end zone for a touchback. The offense and Alvin Kamara heading back onto the field. It's the second quarter. His team has the lead, but I think he's hoping for a little bit more production out of himself.
And we often talk about preaching patience to a runner when things are a little bumpy in the early going, but we have to do the same thing with the offensive line. They can't wait to halftime to make the adjustments. They have to do it from series to series so those surface tablets come into play. Check out what the defense is doing and see if they can find a better way to run it.
So they search for that patience here now. A loss of 2 there, second down.
I like the idea to mix it up from time to time because, let's face it, you can't be predictable. But the execution was a little lacking on this one, right? They might want to go back to the drawing board with that call.
First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12. Here we go on 2nd and 12. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he'll have this past the 30 prior to going out of bounds.
Offense.
That hold coming from the left side of the line.
Hands got caught in the cookie jar on that one, and the flag came out. Penalty against them.
Now they face a 2nd and long following the holding penalty. Back to throw here. Flushed out right. And now he's going to use his legs. And he'll be upended at the 18. That's a very helpful pickup of 9 after the play began at the 9. And it looks like a nickel set now for the Browns on 3rd down. Looking to throw. And that'll be incomplete. Well, they took their shot all right, but it comes up empty, and it's 4th down. Had to pass there, 3rd and long on your own side of the field. Just couldn't come up with anything.
That's why teams always talk about having to win the early downs, meaning you've got to gain yardage and set yourself up for 3rd and short, because when it's 3rd and long, the odds go down significantly trying to pick up the first down, even throwing the football.
And the Browns getting set to go. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need...
And the Dolphins rush gets home. Down he goes. Rashawn Gary gets his 20th sack of the season as he continues what could be a record-setting campaign. He had 3 of those sacks last week en route to being the AFC Defensive Player of the Week 1 right there. How do you block him now?
That's the question you think that they'd be able to answer. After having 3 the week before, you would make all the necessary adjustments in practice, but he's such an imposing force, he knows how to get to the quarterback anyway.
They come up on 2nd and long, and the pass protection just has not been there this afternoon. Now Mayfield. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And I think we've got a hold here. It's a 5-yard pickup for the moment. Let's see what our referee says. So they say we'll let that completed pass stand, and we'll bring up 3rd down instead as they decline it.
So they're comfortable with the yardage. The big thing to them is what you pointed out, getting it to 3rd down and making a play there.
3rd and long for Mayfield. Caught here by Griffin. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. The Dolphins going to take their 2nd timeout as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Here's Jamie Gillen now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. And that'll hit at the 5 and go into the end zone for a touchback. The offense and Alvin Kamara heading back onto the field. A good job in the passing game, decent job in the running game, but really they've been more effective through the air. We'll see if that shifts at all as this goes on.
Thus far, it feels like they're calling this game in reverse. Normally you run to set up the pass. Here it feels like they're passing, hoping to set up the run and be more effective later on in the game.
Yeah, you can do it both ways. We usually talk about it in the reverse, however.
No doubt about it.
Throwing on 1st down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
With a dime look on defense, 2 extra defensive backs on the field and covered up essentially every blade of grass. That allowed them to disrupt the play.
Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. They'll set up the screen now to Kamara. Now the Browns signal for the 2nd of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. Well, that 2nd down completion, something of a disaster, and now they're left with 3rd and long. They'll set up a throw. That's incomplete, but there is a flag down, so hang on. A big call coming on third down. Well, the crowd doesn't like that. Was going to bring up fourth. Now it's first.
They don't like it at all, do they? It brings them back into it, but really not in a positive way. Now they're angry. That can jangle the team a little bit as well. Pass interference ruined that series of downs for them.
And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete.
You get a tight end like this, and you know he's used to dishing out punishment, but here, he's one that has to absorb the contact, and as a result, unable to hold on to the football.
Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. And that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on, third down. So back-to-back incompletions, and that has him staring at a 3rd and 10. And he fumbled it. It's on the ground. And this is picked up by the Browns. And his guys are going to take over at the 34-yard line.
I know that taking care of the football is something that's drummed into every guy who plays this position, no matter what, whether he's running it, in the pocket, out of the pocket. But it's almost surprising to me that there aren't more fumbles by that position because of the way that they get attacked on each and every play.
Yeah, we had the fumble last week. Now here's 2 weeks in a row with a fumble loss.
Concentration has got to be there, and he's got to understand how much time he has to take care of a play, and maybe his clock is off just a little bit.
No gain there on the completion, 2nd and 10. Now a timeout signaled for, and they'll get it with 10 seconds to go before halftime. So on 2nd down, the field goal unit is on here as they try to get 3 before half. On the left hash, officially it's called a 51-yard attempt. And Elliott puts this one through. And they will cut the lead back down to a touchdown now at 13-6. So a big play before the end of the half to get him into this spot, and they cash in with 3.
How about the 1-2 to the solar plexus on that one? The big play, the field goal, not much time left on the clock. That's the way to go into the half.
And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. Time for a final kneel down or a safe run, and then they can head to the locker room with a lead.
Yeah, or they can even run a screen. You know, something they feel is somewhat safe that might actually pop and turn into a big play. That's what you usually run in this situation.
Or go 4 verticals because why not?
Because you're feeling it, right? You're just feeling it.
Let's get it.
So we've come upon halftime here in Week 17 as we'll head down to Orlando. That's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thank you as always. Welcome into our final regular season edition of our Halftime Report. Playoff lives hanging in the balance as we take you around the NFL one final time. We'll start up at Gillette Stadium in Foxborough, and it's the Saints who are out in front as that inches closer to halftime. The Saints trying to finish that one off and claim victory. From there, we head over to the Windy City. Check on the Bears at home, Soldier Field. And you can see they trail in that matchup against the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Steelers looking to sew that one up, and they look to be in pretty good shape. Lastly, let's get you to Charlotte, North Carolina. Check on the Panthers at home at Bank of America Stadium. And that one all even as they play the visiting Bucs. Meanwhile, in our game, it's been a back-and-forth first half. Who can put it together in the second half? For the answer, we turn it back over to our broadcast team of Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Okay, Coach, appreciate it. A 1-touchdown game here as we get set to resume play in the second half. The final 2 quarters of the NFL regular season are upon us as the second half of Week 17 is underway. That's fielded in the end zone. And he will be brought down here at about the 17-yard line. Out comes the Dolphins now. They'll go on offense first here in this third quarter. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking to extend that lead.
And this is where I enjoy talking about one of my favorite subjects, tendency breakers, or counters as I also like to call them. You've done things in a certain way in the first half, and they've had the ability to see what you've done. They're going to make their adjustments. So guess what? You adjust yourself and try and stay ahead of the pace because you are looking for some separation in this ball game.
The adjustment to the adjustment.
Without a doubt. Show them one thing, hit them with something else.
So 2nd and inches after that first down completion went just shy of the marker. Here's a carry for the fullback. That's Anthony Sherman. And he's going to get hit at the line of scrimmage and driven backwards. Officially, it's no gain on the play, and they'll remain a few inches shy of a first with 3rd down looming. They'll try and sneak it here. And they will touch him down, but not before he gets the first. Only a yard there on the keeper, but that's all he needed. First down.
I don't know about you, but I like this call. 3rd and inches, and instead of worrying about getting it back to a running back and maybe there's some penetration from the defensive front, just go ahead and take it, move forward, and pick up the first down.
And as we say often, it shows confidence in your offensive line. A throw there, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
We've seen good cover skills on display throughout this game, really from both teams. And there's another nice example there of them making it difficult to complete a pass.
So now they'll come up on 2nd and 10, once again from the 28. From the gun, it's a run for Kamara. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. Officially, it will go as a 1-yard loss, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the 3rd quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Myles Garrett has now recorded 10 sacks on the season.
Looking for it coming out to start the 3rd quarter. Get a sack, get off the field, get the momentum going in their direction.
Get the ball back to your offense, right? Get that momentum because, hey, this lead is very, very slim. Here's Matt Hawk now as he's on to punt for Miami. His first punt, 48 yards. This one looks equally as good. And the fair catch is made at about the 27-yard line. So a change of possession here on the punt. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. Here's the Browns now. They get set for their first possession of the 3rd quarter. They trail offense, first time to touch the ball in quarter 3, and we'll see what they can do.
And I can't wait to see what they have planned because some teams script to start a half. Other teams just go, okay, these are the sequence of plays we want to run. These things worked well for us. And sometimes they throw in that big chunk play right away.
Shocker.
Try and get after them early and try and create a big play to give themselves some momentum.
See what they have up their sleeve. A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. And again, it's Chubb. Only a couple there as he'll be brought down about the 28. Not the start to the drive they were hoping for. That run doesn't get them much at all.
No, not at all. Not losing with 3rd and long, which means you got to dial up something pretty good. Thank your best player with a play that he likes to run best.
And he's got the hook up to Landry. And they'll get him down at the 34, and he's going to be short of the first by a few yards. The completion good for only 6, and that'll bring up 4th.
So much about this game is just understanding situations and then having to execute, isn't it? Guard the first down sticks. Don't let them get there. And they rallied and made the tackle.
Here's Jamie Gillen now. He's been terrific so far. And a little too much mustard on that one. It hits a couple yards into the end zone. A missed opportunity there maybe to pin them back. The Dolphins offense now heads back on the field. This crew had to punt last time they had the ball, but when you've got a lead like this, you content to play the field position game?
You are to an extent, especially if you like your defense, because you have the lead, you've been controlling the game. But why put them in a tougher spot? You want to get out there and get something done on offense and maybe take command of this game yourself.
They'll try to get the offense going with Kamara. And there just continues to be nowhere to run. He's bottled up again at the line of scrimmage. The rush defense stout on first down. Here's 2nd and 10 from the 20. 2nd and 10. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. Now a stoppage here as it looks like we've got a Dolphin shaken up on the play. And this is certainly not what you want to see in the final week of the year. We'll be back. Now a fake on the give here as they try the run-pass option. And he's going to get this to about the 20, but that is well short of what he needed. The completion good for only 6, and that'll bring up 4th.
That's certainly playing down in distance very well by the defense, isn't it? Take whatever you want underneath, by all means.
Averaging over 50 yards a punt so far as this one's away. That'll be a 44-yard boot, just a yard on the return as he's covered up quickly. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. The Browns offense trotting back onto the field. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
Now a fake on the give here as they try the run-pass option. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. A good play there as the Browns strike for 16 on a first down.
Quarterbacks love slant routes because the receivers are breaking right into their line of vision. And receivers love them as well because they're getting the ball on the move and able to catch it and try and get upfield and gain additional yardage.
So one play, and they're already just shy of midfield. From the shotgun, it's Mayfield. He's got the hook up to Odell Beckham. And he's out of bounds as he gets this down to the 45. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch. Able to get 7 on that first down pass play. 2nd and 3. Mayfield. And his throw's going to be incomplete. He was looking to get it to Jarvis Landry that time. And it's 3rd and short. Something we haven't really seen much of from him, an incomplete pass.
Yeah, last week he finished at 70%. This week he's up over 80%. I don't know how you slow him down. Pass rush is usually the best way because a quarterback on his back usually can't complete a pass.
They were ahead of schedule after the gain of 7 on first down, but the defense does not budge on 2nd and 3rd. After seeing that, maybe time to go back to some downfield throws here?
Yeah, anything. Change it up because the teams that win, the best teams, they're the ones that make adjustments. Doesn't mean you can't come back to what you thought you could get done. Sometimes when you open things up a little bit, you can get back to what you wanted to do before.
Down here in the 3rd quarter, obviously that's one they could have used.
Yeah, and one of my favorite special teams coaches in the NFL told me what separates the kickers in the NFL versus the ones who are not is not the misses. It's the 2nd miss in a row. Best kickers in the league, they don't miss 2 in a row. He's got to get his head back together in case he gets another shot.
A quick throw out to Hardman on the perimeter. And he's going to be taken down right at the line. No gain there on the completion. 2nd and 10. They'll drop the throw. Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. They get 7 there on the screen. It'll set up a 3rd down.
For a second there, I thought that might break big. Screen pass. Looked like it was coming together. Looked like there was an opening. Still, ended up with a solid game.
A good chance this is 4-down territory if they're unable to convert. But right now looking at a 3rd and 3. And I don't think Kamara got there. Looks like they stopped him short. He needed 2. He got 1. And that's going to leave him with 4th down at a yard.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
Field goal would have been a decent length at 55 yards. They keep the kicking unit on the sideline. They're going for it. Open man is Ross, complete. The Dolphins can't convert on 4th down. And this Browns defense stands tall. Even though they didn't get it, probably the right call. Too long for a field goal and just not a whole lot to gain from a punt there.
Yeah, you wouldn't have really netted very much yardage if you punt the ball, right? And the thing about a field goal, and you know this from so much experience, the longer the field goal, the lower it comes out off the kick, right? Which means it's got a better chance of being blocked. So you're taking a chance either way. I like the fact they went for it.
Mayfield now 5 straight completions here in this second half. 1st and 10. From the gun, Mayfield. Got an open man. That's David Njoku, the tight end. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
Nice rhythm throw there on 1st down. He located his tight end, made it a nice, easy pitch and catch.
Hoping he can break a tackle or two. Wasn't able to do that there, but still good yardage. Mayfield off the play fake. Over the middle and into the hands of his receiver, Landry. And he's got another 1st down as he's brought down at the Dolphins' 22-yard line.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
Watch the run. Watch the run. Watch the run.
On 1st down, they'll run with Chubb. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. That's good for a Cleveland 1st down, an 11-yard pickup.
And that's the big fella's MO right there. Running through tackles, keeping the sticks moving forward. This defense, if you don't bring 11 guys to the ball to try and get him on the ground, he's going to keep making runs like that. I feel the press box shaking every time he touches the rock.
Mayfield on play action. And the pressure will get to him. He goes down. Now there is a flag on the play, but this looks like holding on the offense. So they will take the sack instead of the penalty.
And it takes another down off the series. But the biggest one of all, do you want to tell the guy who just got the sack that it no longer counts?
No.
No, not at all.
1 quarter remains here as the regular season starts to wind down. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. So after the sack, a scenario you certainly don't work on too often. 2nd and 24. Mayfield to throw it. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Griffin. That one good for the completion percentage, but no gain. It'll be 3rd down. The Browns on 3rd down. It has been a disaster. 0 for 8 thus far. This will be 3rd and forever. Now contact up front as penalty markers come in. Who is this against? So a jump there defensively.
And it's a killer. Watch the football. Don't move across the line of scrimmage until the ball moves.
And the penalty helps, but not a whole lot. It's still 3rd and long.
Let me know right now. You better bring.
And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. He loses 4, and it brings up 4th.
Well, I know it goes against the instincts of the person catching the ball because all you're ever taught is catch the football, don't drop it.
But drop it there.
Yeah, in that situation, dropping it would have been better. End up losing yardage, even though they completed the pass.
As good as a sack.
Yeah, how about that? Although they won't get the same credit for it, and it won't help them at contract time.
So an interesting call there to take the 3. I mean, I guess they're thinking that their hands were tied, but, 4th quarter, that field goal might not help them that much in the end.
Yeah, eventually they're going to need the touchdown. The thinking must have been they didn't feel confident about picking it up there, hoping maybe on defense they can get better field position, get a turnover, get a better play, and then they'll have a chance to attack the end zone.
And as this offense makes their way back out, it's AFC playoff race time as we give you a look. They start the drive on the ground. Kamara. And he'll wind up with about 6, up past the 30 to the 31.
All right, that's a decent game there, but it hasn't been his best game overall. So I wonder what the mindset is of his team. Do they want him to handle the football and try and close this game out? Or are they going to make an alternative plan and maybe go in a different direction?
I think they need him, and this is his time to shine. A 3-yard pickup on 2nd and 4. Now they'll need to convert here on 3rd and a little more than a yard. On third down, here's Kamara. And he will have a first down as they get him to the ground at the 37. And now timeout is whistled as it appears there's a Brown shaken up on the play. And in Week 17, let's hope this won't affect him for the playoffs. We'll step aside. So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this second half. Here's 1st and 10. Now this one to his tight end out on the right side. And they bring him to the ground just shy of midfield. Give him 12 yards there, and the Dolphins have a first down. This quarterback now perfect since the second half started. 7 of 7. It's 1st and 10. A first down run, good for about 3. 2nd and 7 coming up. Brought down that time by Christian Kirksey. A man who's been busy this afternoon. It's Kamara again. Give him 3 on the run there. Now they're looking at a 3rd and about 5. The recipe's pretty simple, I think, right? Just give your superstar the ball, continue to feed him.
Yeah, don't overthink this one, right? Make sure he's touching the football, but you're also counting on his intelligence in playing the game as well. If it's not there, don't force the run. Just make sure you hang on to the football and keep the clock ticking.
Over the middle, it's complete. And he's going to get this inside the 30. 18 big yards on that one, and a Miami first.
Couldn't just sit on it here, could they? Had to throw the ball on 3rd down. Got the big completion in the pickup. Fresh set of downs now. They've got to feel great.
And defensively, a backbreaker.
Set, ready. Check out the 59. Let him know, let him know. Let him know, let him know.
Now a first down carry. It's Kamara. And I think this defense knew what was coming as he is smothered behind the line. And that sends him 2 yards in the wrong direction and leads to 2nd down. He was able to escape momentarily in the backfield, but you could just kind of tell that wasn't going anywhere.
You know, in the film session, he'll get a minus for not getting him on the ground by himself. But what the coach is really going to analyze, how fast did his teammates get there to help him? If one guy slows him up, everyone else better be there, and that's what they got on that play.
The 2nd down play, not much better than the first, just a gain of 1 there.
Well, that call makes sense because they've been throwing it well on this drive, and once again, they show passing formation, showing the shotgun. Then they ran out of it. That's a nice play by them defensively, though, to hold it to a short game.
And he won't be close to a first down as he runs into a wall right around the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there, and it'll bring up 4th down. They've called his number a lot this afternoon. You wonder how much tread is left on those tires.
We certainly do, but I always think back to one of my favorite coaches in the NFL. And he used to have a meeting with his running backs every year in the offseason and say, look, as many times as you're going to carry the ball, you should be able to carry it one more time, so make sure you get in shape.
But from a defensive perspective, though, I think maybe they're saying, hey, we did what we needed to do, kept this a 1-score game.
Yeah, without a doubt, because they were able to bleed some time off the clock, right? Put themselves in a good position, but it's not out of reach yet, okay? Being able to hold them to a field goal means that they do have a chance to come back and win this game.
And now the Browns coming out on the field. And after the field goal last time, we'll see what they can get here. At least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them wanted to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it. Way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you met fan bases that wanted that. They weren't happy with that field goal.
I haven't met a fan base yet that wants to drive to end with a kick, other than the extra point. That's it.
A good pickup there for the Browns, 15 yards. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
Now Mayfield's throw finds Callaway complete. That throw good for 4. It's 2nd down. 4 yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6. Mayfield looks to throw. Drops it off for Chubb. It'll be a 2-yard gain, and it'll be 3rd down. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
The Browns on 3rd down. Can you believe it? 0 for 9 thus far. This is 3rd and 4. To throw, Mayfield. And that is incomplete. You can tell they were flagged there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning, hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you've got to let them play, and the officials are instructed. If there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces fourth down. And the kick's away as he angles this one for the sideline.
Come on, baby. Let's go.
So now here come the Dolphins. They're holding on right now to that slim advantage in a one-score game. And you hear a lot about 2-minute offense and 4-minute offense. Obviously, the 4-minute offense applies here. How do they run that effectively?
Yeah, really what the 4-minute offense is you're just trying to grind the clock. So you want consistent gains, steady gains. Doesn't have to be big plays, but it has to be plays that gets first downs and keeps the ball away from your opponent.
But certainly throwing the ball is in the mix here.
It certainly is. Just make sure that you're careful with it. And again, get those first downs, keep possession of the football.
Clock continuing to run. They'll probably wind this all the way before snapping it on second down. Now this one complete downfield on the left side. And he'll get this up to the 30-yard line. It'll be a pickup of 16 and a Dolphin first down. Defensively, they're okay with that. Short little route, tackle him inbounds. Okay.
All right, cliche alert. It's time for someone to make a play because they've got to have something bigger downfield. They can't just take what they give them. They've got to force it and make something big happen for them.
And that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line. Call it a full 3 yards in the wrong direction there. Brings up second down.
Big stop, D. Big stop. Let's go.
Second and 13. He's going to have the hook up to Ross. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. 19 yards to pick up there. Move the chains. Not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up first and 10. Fourth quarter, down to the final 2 minutes, and we've got a one-score game. So the Dolphins have it as we welcome you back in. They've got a first and 10 as they look to try and finish this one off. Here's Kamara off the draw, and not a lot of daylight, not really any daylight inside as he's going to be stopped right at the line of scrimmage. Brings up second down. So after the run for no gain, here's second and 10.
Here we go. Here we go.
Now a fake on the give here as they try the run pass option. He's got the first down and more inside the 40. Whistles now and a timeout. So defensively they burn it here with 1:51 left. So here's a first and 10 at the 38. Now a fake on the give here as they try the run pass option. The Browns will quickly use their third and final timeout as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming second down play. A small bit of adversity here on what's been a strong drive as they come up second and 12. On the ground, Kamara. A minimal gain there on the 8th play of the drive. And now the question everyone's wondering, look at the clock, late fourth quarter, do they put the ball in the air here on third?
I don't. I run the football and I tell my offensive line, no leakage up front. I don't want my running back hit as I hand the ball off to him. I don't want any type of an issue. But if I am going to throw it, quick throw, out to the perimeter, maybe one of my best receivers running a quick slant or something like that.
A good pickup there, 7 yards, but it brings up fourth down.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
And this one looks good. It is good. Right down the pipe. And that will push the lead up to double digits now at 10. So barring something extraordinary here in the closing stages, that field goal should just about put this one on ice.
Yeah, we've got to find 2 scores. So, we're not going to exactly move it over there yet. It can be done, but, boy, it's going to be a little bit of a stretch for them, isn't it?
Yeah, they would have to move incredibly quick and have some luck, too. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Browns offense heading out as we take a look at the playoff picture in the AFC. And for them, it's no longer a question of will they make the playoffs. They've clinched the division title. The question, can they hold on to that number 1 seed?
And this is where the mental fortitude comes to play, doesn't it? Because now you're not just the coach talking about it. It's team talking about it to each other, supporting each other, carrying each other along, because having that number 1 seed means everything in the NFL.
It does. So even though the division title's clinched, shouldn't take the foot off the gas.
No, not at all. Play it all the way through. And I think we've seen that in recent years in the NFL. The teams that play and play to win each and every game, they're the ones to deal with in the playoffs.
So a victory here for the Miami Dolphins. And I think the game balls need to be distributed on the defensive side of the football, and I bet that you would agree.
Yeah, if you hold a team under 10 points, that's a job well done. Really well done. So I would say game balls for every starter and every key player who participated in this game.
Now, see, I only like one game ball. You're handing out multiple, although I set you up by saying game balls, plural. But
I like where we're going with this. You say one to represent, like the best player of all of that. And I say multiples so that you keep everyone motivated and involved.
You're a man of the people.
I'm a man of the people. I thought I was the only child.
You get a game ball, and you get a game ball. Game balls for everybody. So for Miami, the win form is number 6 on the year. And by just about all accounts, not the type of year they were hoping to have. Meanwhile, for Cleveland, this was basically just an exhibition game for them as they'd already clinched home field advantage. And the playoffs will run through their house as they'll get the week off and get set to host a divisional round game in 2 weeks' time.